Good morning, everybody. I'm finally woke up. The birds are woke up. All we got left now to feed are the pigs, but I'm gonna go up here and feed them whenever I got not one last batch, but I got another batch of watermelon I want to get in. We planted a bunch of Georgia rattlesnake watermelons yesterday on the last video, and today I'm gonna knock out some Charleston Gray before I got to go to work. I don't have much time, but we have supposed to be a big rainstorm, but they act like they're not quite sure. But hopefully this rain's gonna come through and give everything a good watering. I wanted to show you guys our corn and our beans real quick, but first I want to talk to you guys about what's going on here at the farm. The last couple of weeks, let me start over. I had one of my subscribers on yesterday's video happened to notice this guy didn't miss anything. I got a handful of you subscribers that don't miss anything. And I'm really glad about that, because y'all may catch some stuff that I don't catch. But he said, hey, are you missing a couple of your bourbon red turkeys? Because I only see one. That girl right there. And I text him back, and we still have soda pop, of course. And we're on the fence about keeping her, so we'll talk about that later. She's turning into an egg eater. She's starting to pull all the eggs out of our buckets and eat them. We noticed our egg rate was going way down, and I was in here one day and she was walking around just sticking her head in there, pulling them out and starting to eat them. I caught her red-handed. But anyway, where was I at? Oh yeah, he noticed that we were missing a couple of bourbon red turkeys. And yes, we are. Dang it. We're not sure if it's a fox or a coyote that's out here picking us clean in broad daylight. We had one the other day. I don't know if y'all can see the camera picks this stuff up, but we had a huge pile of black feathers. This hasn't gone away now. This has been about a week or so ago. But a big pile of black feathers here, and then we found another one around here, and another one where she pulled them through the fence. And that wasn't there that morning, so we know that one had gotten taken in the daytime. And then the other day, a few videos back, I had mentioned that maybe a hawk had got one of my gray chickens over there by the front door. And then my daughter noticed by the playground another big giant thing of black feathers. Well, then yesterday, we've noticed our turkeys have been disappearing too. We wasn't sure if they were out in the woods laying on eggs or not. And then my neighbor called and said, I think one of your turkeys are over here in my pasture. So when I went over there, it was definitely a bourbon red wing laying in the pasture. So we know one of the bourbon red turkeys had been taken. Now, the guy that we let turkey hunt out here, he actually got tons of trail camera photos of a red fox just right here on the other side of the fence here. Red fox has been coming through. And Travis came outside the other day, and a coyote was actually chasing the chickens through the front yard. He yelled at it, and it took off. He didn't have time to get a gun or anything, because, you know, once they knew he was there, it was gone. But we are under attack, and I know a lot of you guys, before I keep going, I'll tell you what else they got. I know a lot of you guys are going to say, don't free range your birds. Why don't you keep your birds put up? Well, it's just what we've always done. We've always liked our birds to get out and do whatever they want to do. It's just we let them get out and scratch. The soda pop's got to where he goes way out there, and I mean, it's a funny thing that I honestly hate coming down here and looking in my pen and all those birds just pacing back and forth, kind of like they're in jail, and they just pace back and forth, and I don't have the heart for it. I want them out, and we do our best to try to protect our birds. We have put up all sorts of stuff to keep these hawks out of here. We got the owl. If y'all can see the owl there. Where's that owl at? Right there. Is that him? We got the owl out, and just tons of little things. And that's really been working good for our hawks. Let me show you what else these stupid animals did. I have a box of traps. I've been trapping forever, but I've never really been good. Well, I've never really been good at coyote or fox trapping, but this used to be, I used to always try, and I got a ton of traps, but I started to put them out, and I was like, I don't know, let's get out here. And our thing is we have a cat. And I'm always so paranoid about catching Loki. I would feel terrible if I caught my cat. And I know, put him up. Well, he's got to use the bathroom, and he's a free-range cat. So we let him out. But reason this is here, I can't see it now, I built it back in, but he had dug under here and pulled a bird through. There was a pile of feathers right here. Pulled one of my little quail through, and that wasn't enough, so he came over here, and I started to put all these right here to keep him deterred a little bit. But he had a huge hole here. I built it back in and put a rock over it. But he had a huge hole right here, and a bunch of my quail had got out. We had quail out here flying around everywhere. Me and, if you watch the little fishing video, I had all them boys out here, a little fishing video I'm about to put out. All those boys that were fishing with me, I had him out here chasing down quail to put them up. But I know he got a quail. There's where one of my dead quail lay. But I think, let me tell you the reason I'm making this video. I think I have a tip to get rid of these coyotes and foxes and deer. If you have a garden, everybody says listen to the old folks. So that's what I did. My neighbor, where I do all my, I go over there and he gave me a bunch of hog pound. He's the nicest guy ever. But he's an old school country guy. And he said, Shane, let me tell you, we was talking about keeping deer out of our garden one day. And he said, I ain't had a deer step foot in my garden in the last 4 years. And I said, well, how do you keep them out? You know, we put the pie pans and all that stuff up. And he said, well, yeah, put a radio in your garden. Just leave it running 24 hours a day. And it hit me the other day. I was out here feeding the birds. And I said, well, if that'll work for a deer, I wonder if it'll work for these foxes and coyotes, because they are super cautious. And we've been doing this for the last 2 or 3 days now. And so far, so good, at least for this area, because I'm not sure what's going to happen when they get out. But our quail are protected. Our ducks, of course, our ducks are penned in. But these chickens, I mean, God, they go all the way up to the garden. They just roam the whole 18 acres. They're everywhere. So they're pretty well on their own, but at night, this really works. We just leave it on a little, of course, I like country radio. I like all kind of music, but out here, when I'm out here working with my birds, I like country music. So we leave this playing all. It's really funny when you come home at night, you still hear the country music playing out here. It's really, really funny. I know the birds get a kick out of it. But that's it. That's our way we're going to be trying to protect our birds now, is just leave a radio on. And hopefully that'll work. I want to do some traps, but not sure exactly how that'll work with our cat and stuff. And another thing is, if we don't get out here and remember to pop them, we may catch one of our chickens. I've always worried about catching one of my chickens. But that's what we're going through, guys. I'm going to go up here and plant some more of these watermelons. We have some Charleston Gray I'm dying to get in the ground before I go to work. But that's it, guys. If you have your garden, you worry about deer getting in your garden, run a radio out there and keep it, of course, out of the rain. So we're hoping that it's underneath this roof. It's tucked under this roof pretty good. He had actually built him a box. He built him a box with a cover over it and everything, and keep it protected from the rain. So he said that worked really, really well. So I'm praying that that works for keeping these foxes and coyotes out. Let me walk down here. Just while I'm here, I'll show y'all a quick clip of our garden down here, where the corn and the beans are doing really, 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 really good. You see the corn's all popping up in rows. I don't know how well the camera picks that up, but it's growing really, really good. For my first time growing corn and to actually see it coming out of the ground, I am super happy about that. But it's really looking good. I haven't seen a deer track one so far. That's another thing that I've been waiting to see, is some deer tracks. Like I say, them deer will come out of here, but we got the pie pans hanging. Hopefully that helps. My niece just put a bunch more down there on the other end. We got our famous scarecrow out here. Look at our beans. Our beans are rocking. These contender beans that me and Mason put in, we're going to have more beans than we know what to do with. And they're all the way down there. Just tons of beans. Are really looking good. We got a couple little spots that didn't come up, but I mean, good gracious, who cares about that? There's just tons of them. And our next step is going to be this little corner here. We're going to plow this up and around that stump and all the way down here. And this is going to be our crimson spineless okra. We're just going to load it up. And for any of you guys that's ever grown okra, which I have some experience with okra, it can grow and you can just fill freezers and freezers up with okra. But my plan with that okra was to fill our freezer up and start giving a bunch to friends and neighbors and stuff. Give a bunch to friends and neighbors and stuff. What kind of track is that? Because I like to be totally honest with y'all. Oh, that's my turkey. That's my turkey. Soda pop. I told y'all soda pop's been coming down here. I'm hoping he don't eat all. But look at the size of these tracks that big old turkey lays. Yeah, that's soda pop. Oh well. But so far we've been lucky, because I think if we know a deer comes in here, he's going to wipe us out. I just know it. I just know it. So hopefully all this is working. But we're going to fill this right here in, this area, all the way up. This is going to be, I'll leave a nice walking path down through here. But that's going to be all that crimson spineless okra. Hopefully I get it in this weekend. So stay tuned for that. We'll keep y'all posted on that. That's going to be fun. I love when we have stuff that we can give to everybody. That's a lot of fun. Especially when you see them come out here and have fun picking it and all that stuff. It's just super fun doing stuff like that. Let me go out here and feed these pigs real quick and plant these watermelons. Now look at that, guys. You think they learn it when they see us, the fruit's coming? They absolutely love it. I guess they want some of that other feed. Give them some feed. I think they want some feed. I thought they'd want them tomatoes more. Guys, who don't like watching pigs eat? It's so fun. They are just the best. The fruit's starting to come in. Our fruit stand's opened up now to 5 days a week. Pretty soon they'll open up to 7. So we are getting tons of fruit now. I say tons, we're getting a box a day, which for us is a lot. But 60 pounds of fruit a day for free from our local fruit stand. You can't beat that. And we turn around and feed it right back to the pigs. He also gave me a watermelon, but it's in the refrigerator. He said he accidentally dropped one yesterday. And he said, I ain't sure if it's good or not. He said, I dropped it and it put a little crack in the top and I can't sell it. You want it? I was like, heck yeah, I want that thing. So we stuck it in the fridge. I said, we'll crack it open here in a minute. And if it ain't good, we'll feed it to the pigs. But he said, shouldn't be nothing wrong with it. It's just got a crack in the top. All right, guys, while I'm sitting out here, I thought I would just let you know, we got some M.I. Gardner heirloom seeds. We're going to be planting these Charleston Gray watermelons. We planted these last year, and they were my second favorite. Those Georgia rattlesnakes, I mean, we planted, I think, 150 plants yesterday, and that was my all-time favorite. My plan was to plant them, see how many I can grow, and I'm going to sell a bunch of them, because everybody, I gave them to everybody last year. And everybody was willing to pay, and I just kept saying, no, no, no. But this year, we're going to turn that into feed money. So this year, I'm going to try. Of course, I try that now, and I won't grow any, but hopefully, they'll grow. I planted 150 of those. I'm going to plant, how many of these are in a pack? 25, so 25 in a pack. We'll plant 50 of these in this garden here. And I'm sure I won't get that many watermelons. What I've been doing is putting 3 seeds per hole. And we did that last year, and it just worked out great. Even my niece asked, why do you plant 3 per hole? I planted, if I try 2, I figure if one, that's 50%. If one comes up, one doesn't. I figure 3, better odds. And it just worked out good last year. I did that last year, so I'm doing it again this year, and it worked out great. We had so many watermelons last year, it was absolutely ridiculous. Just I was just backing my truck up and loading them up and giving them to everybody. So this year, we'll be trying to sell them. I'm gonna plant these Charleston Gray, and we also have a ton of other watermelons we wanna plant that I'll probably plant daily, put in a little more every day. Because usually I wake up, by the time I wake up, have breakfast, I just got an hour or 2 to get ready before I go to work. So I'm trying to squeeze in just a couple of packs every day. That way I don't get too wore out to drive a truck tonight and be sleepy when it gets dark. But the Charleston Gray are going to be really good. And oh, another reason I planted them, because they have that solid outer shell on them, the rind, I guess. And they'll be a lot more distinguishable than the others. Those Georgia rattlesnakes are the green. They have this solid green stripes all the way around them. So my plan is to have them in the middle, because the next batch we're going to plant, a lot of those have those green stripes, and I may get them mixed up. And I'm hoping that will help to separate my Georgia rattlesnakes from anything else I grow, because we're wanting to plant some orange watermelon that we had bought, and it looks just like the Georgia rattlesnake on the outside. So I think we're going to plant it on the far end down near the okra. But stick around. I can sit here and talk and talk and talk. I need to get to planting. Well, guys, I'm gonna give them a quick watering. I marked my next hole with that little hook right there. I marked my next hole right there so I can start the next watermelons going through here. We had a little tear right there with all this wind. I think that was from last year, actually. But I marked my next hole with that little handle, and that thing is a lifesaver. I know Hoss Tool and everybody else makes one, but we hadn't taught the Hoss Tool, so we bought this at the Mother Earth News Fair, and I for the life of me can't remember what it's called. I want to say it's a diamond head or something like that. But this little joker, Hoss Tool sells them, and I can't remember the name of this company. They didn't mark their handle or anything, but in the garden, this little joker is a lifesaver. Raised beds, all that, you can just run. This thing is amazing. I love it. I was just gonna do a whole commercial on it. I absolutely, absolutely love it. I'm gonna water this stuff. I'm trying not to make this video too long. I'm trying to, trying to keep all my videos around 10 minutes now. Just nice, quick videos. Get in, get out. But we got planted from here to there, and about half that next row. We started there. We got that, this, and right here with the Charleston Gray. Everything else is a Georgia rattlesnake up to the top. And tomorrow we'll start here and work our way down with what we have left in the house. We have probably 10 different varieties in the house. So we'll start running. I want to put the orange ones more down towards the end so we can really keep an eye on where they're at. But guys, I appreciate y'all checking out my channel. Say a little prayer for us. Keeping these animals off our chickens. I know a lot of people are going to say you shouldn't free range them, but I can turn around and say you shouldn't cage up your birds. So it's that little debate, you know, of whether we free range or we cage them. I just like to let my animals out. If I could have more land for my pigs and let them, I'd do that too. I like things to be out, be happy. I mean, they can get eaten by a hawk, and something can tear in the pen. So it's just one of those little debates, you know, that I don't think will ever be won. But we personally like to keep our animals out. But like I say, the fox is tearing into the pens now. I don't know sure if it's fox or coyote, but anyway. The radio should work, guys. Try that in your gardens too. My neighbor said it works like a charm. But do me a favor, subscribe if you're not a subscriber. Click that like button if you like this video. I really appreciate it. We'll see you on the next video.